Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm back with another 80s throwback review for the movie Modern Girls from 1986, starring Daphne Zuniga as Margot, Virginia Madison as Kelly, Cynthia Gibb as Cece, and Clayton Rohner as Clifford, as well as Bruno X. But the official synopsis for this film is, let's see here, a pair of women decide to prank their roommate's nerdy blind date after she stands him up, but end up developing a friendship with him after their practical joke sends him on an all-night odyssey through the 1980s club scene. Yeah, kind of. I mean, basic rundown of, what gets the film started. These three roommates are planning a night out, and Kelly, played by Virginia Madsen, forgets that she had a date set up with this guy, Clifford. So she is out and about on another date that night. She's got, she's taking her roommate's car with her, and Clifford shows up for the date anyways. And the roommates find out that he's been stood up, and since Kelly took the car, they decide to just kind of hang out with him anyways because he has a car. This is in the days before Uber and Lyft, and of course all these roommates are pretty poor, so cabbing around LA, I guess, is out of the question. But they just kind of tell him that they're going to, meet up with Kelly later. They don't let him on to the fact that he's, been stood up. So the story kind of moves about in a very generic way throughout their evening, within the 80s club scene in LA. And obviously throughout the night, Clifford finds out that he was stood up. And, as they're kind of, trucking around, him and these other three girls lamenting about their love lives and friendships, they actually start bonding a bit during this. So, the gals help Clifford kind of clean up his look a bit. And when they clean up his look, he ends up looking a lot like this rock star who's in town named Bruno X, who, of course, the actor plays that role as well. They use his similarity in looks to him to kind of gain access to another club, find out more information about Bruno X as far as where he's staying and what his plans are while he's in town, since the character of Cece kind of has this crush on him. But they just kind of wander about, nothing much really happens, which, is fine. Some movies are like this. I've noticed it a lot with indie films, especially where the, beginning, middle, and end aren't overall, there's not really much of a reason to any of it. It's not very solidified. I guess it's a little bit more like real life. When you talk about any situation you've been in or a night that you had, you don't necessarily have this solid beginning, middle, end. It's just things that have happened along the way. So the movie kind of wanders about that way of them just kind of wandering through the club scene, Cece trying to get in touch with Bruno X, Clifford, kind of finding out that he was stood up and really, being, down about it and everything, that he just hasn't met a nice person. Daphne Zuniga's character kind of starting to bond with Clifford a bit. So it's interesting, but the throwback portion of this is not just the music or the style, but also like how life was before social media and Uber or the internet in general. Those times of taking a nap after work because you're planning on being up until morning, staying out at clubs all night, picking out at a Greasy Spoon afterwards. All those things kind of give me a bit of that nostalgia to it. But while I was, while I think this one is kind of worth checking out, even though it kind of meanders about a bit, I wouldn't say it's particularly a must-see film by any means. I had some nice memories going into this film, but not the nostalgic throwback from the 80s, though, because, while I believe I heard a little bit about this movie back then, I may have caught a few minutes here and there. It wasn't one that I was actually, familiar with. I actually hadn't sat down and watched it until about 2014 when I was on vacation with some friends. So, we're about 90 minutes outside of town at this like Black Diamond golf course resort place that we were staying at, which meant, we're going out for walks and watching some movies, listening to a lot of music, eating, napping, reading, eating more, listening to music, eating some more. We'll go swimming, random hot tub events at 12:30 a.m., eat some more, nap some more, just, real laziness with lots of food and everything. And this was, one of the movies we watched, because why would we be golfing at a Black Diamond resort, right, if none of us actually like golf? So, this this movie just brings to mind the times that I had on vacation where I just really needed to get out of town with some friends. So that was kind of what my nostalgia feel was for this. That, as well as just remembering a little bit about, earlier years and the club days and everything. But when I sat back and gave this movie another viewing, trying to keep all that nostalgia not in mind, I, didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I mean, it's an okay movie. It's kind of a fun one to have on, in the background while you're doing something else, or just needing something to pop on late at night. So because of that, I think I'll drop this rating a little bit. My non-nostalgic rating would be to bring this right into the middle as a C, good middle of the road movie. If you happen across it, which according to that Just Stream It app that lets you know where things are streaming, you may have a hard time finding it. But just, don't go too far out of your way for it. If you happen to come across it, maybe check it out. It's a very short watch. It's like maybe an hour and 25 minutes. So worth checking out. Don't go out of your way. Give this one a C. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this quick little 80s throwback review. And remember, like my old granddaddy used to say, the less a man makes declarative statements, the less apt he is to look foolish in retrospect. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.